close to Nicole suggest that he's already moved on with another woman, a claim that she and her camp do not dispute. Then someone with Team Kidman swooped in and said, not so fast. There have been rumors of infidelity throughout his marriage, particularly around their wedding.
And changing the lyrics of songs, a song, The Fighter, that he wrote for Nicole Kidman, changing the lyrics, that were about her to something that was about Maggie. So I think there's some smoke here at the very least.
At 58, Nicole Kidman is confirming why her marriage really ended, and this set list might reveal part of the answer. This is Keith Urban's set list from Hershey, Pennsylvania on October 2nd, his first concert since filing for divorce. You see that? The Fighter is missing.
Keith dropped The Fighter from his set list after playing it previously, and this is the song that everyone's sort of talking about right now.
The love song he wrote about Nicole, gone. The same song he changed the lyrics for just days before the divorce filing. The same song where months earlier in Vegas he did something that caught everyone's attention.
Keith was playing a residency in Las Vegas. He points at Maggie when singing the lyric, "I'm gonna love you."
There are these videos that come to light that seem to show him being flirty with this Maggie woman on stage, who again, like we said, is only 25 years old.
The rumors center on Keith Urban and his 25-year-old guitarist, Maggie Baugh, and the evidence suggests there's more to the story than work schedules.
He's been dodging questions about her for at least 2 months. There was also this incident where somebody asks about her love scenes and he abruptly ends the interview and you could tell that he's angry.
Then there is this concert where he changed her love song for Maggie Baugh. Even more shocking, he pointed at her while singing, "I'm going to love you." And sources close to Nicole confirm he moved on with another woman before the divorce was even filed.
Right. Sources close to Nicole suggest that he's already moved on with another woman, a claim that she and her camp do not dispute. Keith has rented a new home in Nashville, and you saw his PR work quickly leaking the narrative that Nicole's work ethic were the problem.
This is what the evidence reveals about Keith Urban, Nicole Kidman, and Maggie Baugh. On September 26, 2025, Keith Urban stood on stage performing The Fighter, the love song he wrote for Nicole Kidman during their marriage. But this time, something was different. Keith wasn't singing the original lyrics about his wife. He changed the words. He looked directly at his 25-year-old guitarist, Maggie Baugh, and sang lyrics referencing her instead of Nicole. Instead of "When they're trying to get to you, baby, I'll be the fighter," he sang, "When they're trying to get to you, Maggie, I'll be your guitar player." Video footage from the concert spread across social media within hours. Maggie herself posted it to Instagram with the caption, "Did he just say that?" alongside shocked emojis.
We were told that before anyone said Maggie's name, we were told by people who were close to Nicole that they felt that he had moved on with another woman. They weren't sure exactly who it was or when it happened, but they felt like he had moved on.
People close to Nicole had suspected Keith was involved with someone new before anyone knew Maggie's name. They felt it but couldn't prove it until the concert videos emerged. The evidence was there for anyone paying attention. Keith's body language with Maggie told a story his publicist's statements tried to deny. Fans who had followed Keith and Nicole's love story for nearly 2 decades analyzed every moment. The way Keith smiled at Maggie on stage. The chemistry between them that felt too natural, too comfortable. Just 4 days after that performance, on September 30th, Nicole Kidman filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences.
But I can confirm that Maggie has been sharing a stage with them for at least 18 months. She's 25 years old and from Florida, and she moved to Nashville after high school.
Sources confirm Keith had rented a new home in Nashville months before the divorce filing. He was already living separately from Nicole by early summer 2025. While Nicole stayed in their family home with their daughters Sunday and Faith, Keith set up his new residence and started his separate life. The timeline suggests Keith had been planning his exit strategy while Nicole desperately tried to save the marriage.
Keith has rented a new home in Nashville, and you saw his PR work quickly leaking the narrative that Nicole's work ethic, among other things, this is a family show, we won't go there here, were the problem. When is she not working?
Keith's team worked quickly to control the narrative once word of the separation started leaking. They pushed stories about Nicole's relentless work ethic being the problem. They claimed she was never home, always filming, too focused on her career to prioritize her marriage. The strategy was obvious: make Nicole look like the bad guy so Keith could play victim. But the concert footage and the pointing videos told a different story. The September concert wasn't the only evidence of Keith's connection to Maggie. In April 2025, another video surfaced from Keith's Las Vegas residency. During The Fighter, he pointed directly at Maggie while singing the lyric, "I'm going to love you." The timing was unmistakable. The gesture was deliberate.
When Keith was playing a residency in Las Vegas, he points at Maggie when singing the lyric, "I'm gonna love you."
Some defended Keith, saying he was simply cueing Maggie before her part. The argument was that he pointed to signal her entrance, not as a romantic gesture. But combined with the September lyric change where he sang her name directly, the pattern became impossible to ignore. The comfort level between them on stage suggested this wasn't just a professional relationship. Keith is known for changing lyrics and bringing spontaneous energy to his performances. He'd changed The Fighter lyrics before for Carrie Underwood during an ACM Awards performance back in 2017, and nobody accused them of having an affair. But the context was different this time. This wasn't a one-time performance change with a fellow established star. This was a pattern with a 25-year-old member of his touring band. The video showed a chemistry that went beyond professional courtesy. The way Keith looked at Maggie, the intimate nature of changing a song about his wife to reference another woman. The April pointing incident combined with the September lyric change created a narrative that Keith's defenders struggled to explain away. After the divorce announcement, scrutiny intensified on every interaction between Keith and Maggie. Fans discovered that Maggie wasn't even a permanent touring member. She was a fill-in player who rotated with Natalie Stovall. On October 3rd, Keith's first show after the divorce news broke, Maggie was notably absent. Natalie Stovall performed instead. Some saw this as proof of guilt. Others argued she simply wasn't scheduled for that show.
Keith Urban took the stage in Pennsylvania without his wedding ring on Thursday night, and that just makes me sad. For 19 years, they were a really good country music love story, and they were super cute on the red carpet.
Keith performed without his wedding ring for the first time. That naked ring finger was the most significant confirmation yet of the state of his marriage. The Fighter was notably absent from his setlist. The song he'd changed for Maggie, the song that had caused so much controversy, the song he'd written about Nicole. He didn't perform it at all. When news of the separation broke on September 29th, sources immediately started talking. Multiple insiders told media outlets that Keith had moved on with another woman. The whispers weren't vague. They were specific enough to create a firestorm of speculation.
Keith has a woman that he plays, that he performs with. She's one of his guitarists. She is 25 years old. Her name is Maggie. There is some thought that he could be in a relationship with her.
Sources told TMZ that all the signs point to the fact Keith is with another woman. Let's just say Nicole doesn't dispute that, but she's still shocked over it. The rumors weren't just circulating in tabloids. They were everywhere in Nashville's music industry. "It's all over Nashville," one source claimed. The whispers had been going around for months before the separation became public.
Then someone with Team Kidman swooped in and said, not so fast. There have been rumors of infidelity throughout his marriage, particularly around their wedding. Plus, he's a rock star. I mean, should we be so shocked?
When Keith's publicist tried to blame Nicole's work ethic for the divorce, Team Kidman fired back immediately. Sources close to Nicole revealed there had been rumors of infidelity throughout the marriage, not just at the end. The suggestion was that Keith had a pattern of behavior that Nicole had tolerated for years before finally reaching her breaking point. A Nashville music industry source told the Daily Mail, "The rumor is that he's with a younger woman in the business. It's all everyone is talking about." The description fit Maggie Baugh perfectly. 25 years old in the music business, touring with Keith. The circumstantial evidence was piling up even though neither Keith nor Maggie had confirmed anything. Maggie Baugh had been actively posting about her experiences touring with Keith Urban. Just days before the divorce announcement, she posted on TikTok, "Nobody in this airport knows I played to 21,000 people in a stadium yesterday with Keith Urban." The post now has a top comment that reads, "Nicole knows." The internet connected the dots quickly. After the divorce filing and the viral videos, Maggie found herself at the center of a media firestorm she clearly wasn't prepared for. Nicole Kidman's fans flooded her social media accounts with angry comments, calling her the other woman and worse. She went from posting daily on Instagram and TikTok to complete radio silence. Her father, Chuck Baugh, tried to defend her, but his words only added fuel to the fire. The concert footage wasn't the only evidence of Keith's emotional departure from his marriage. His body language in interviews had been revealing the truth for months. Keith had been dodging questions about Nicole for at least 2 months before the separation became public knowledge. Every time her name came up, something shifted.
He's been dodging questions about her for at least 2 months. There was also this incident where somebody asks about her love scenes and he abruptly ends the interview and you could tell that he's angry.
His face would change, his posture would stiffen, and the discomfort was palpable. In one Australian radio interview, when the host brought up how Keith and Nicole met at a G-Day LA event and wondered if fate had brought them together, Keith's response was terse and dismissive. He had no patience for romantic nostalgia about their origin story.
Are you a believer in fate, or do you think it's 2 Australians it would have happened?
No idea.
I just often think that if you weren't at that event, maybe you don't have the same friendship group, it may never have happened.
Well, never know.
You never know.
It's fate. It's the universe.
Anyway, moving on.
You'd like to think so. You'd like to think so.
The phrase, "anyway, moving on," captured Keith's entire attitude toward his marriage. He was ready to move on without looking back. The interview happened just weeks before the separation announcement, and Keith's demeanor when discussing Nicole revealed a man who had already emotionally divorced his wife. He became uncomfortable, evasive, and desperate to end the topic. There was also the incident where someone asked about Nicole's love scenes in her Netflix film with Zac Efron. Keith didn't just deflect or change the subject, he abruptly ended the entire interview. Witnesses said you could tell he was angry. The rage was barely contained beneath a thin veneer of professionalism. A loving husband would have laughed off questions about his wife's love scenes or expressed pride in her work.
Yeah, absolutely. But he I don't know, he seemed either too angry or too emotional to mask it. And that mood shift was, wow, that was in your face as soon as her name was mentioned. And in the end, he said, moving along. And he wasn't going to engage any more conversation about Nicole.
Instead, Keith physically recoiled when Nicole's name was brought up. He pulled back as if her name itself was something repulsive he needed to distance himself from. The mood shift was instant and obvious every time Nicole's name entered a conversation. Keith would go from relaxed and jovial to tense and irritated within seconds.
But you and Nick seem so strong, and it's 10 years. What do you think the key is, especially you guys touring around a lot?
I mean, look, everybody has to figure out what works for them.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, different things work for different people. That's so everyone finds their own thing. But we just love being together more than anything.
Keith had described their relationship back in 2016 as being based on loving to be together more than anything. He said they were best friends who prioritized each other above everything else. That was when they celebrated 10 years of marriage, and Keith still believed in what they had built. But somewhere between 2016 and 2025, Keith stopped feeling that way. The love that once made them inseparable became something Keith wanted to escape from. Maggie Baugh became the name at the center of everything. She's 25 years old, a multi-instrumentalist from Florida who moved to Nashville after high school to pursue her country music dreams. The age gap between Keith at 57 and Maggie at 25 is 32 years. She's young enough to be his daughter. Maggie is a rising singer-songwriter in her own right. She's classically trained, having attended an arts-focused school and even performing at Carnegie Hall in 7th grade. She describes herself as a string nerd who once aspired to attend Juilliard. She plays guitar, fiddle, and provides backup vocals. In 2021, she told People magazine that music has always just been my boyfriend. So whenever I have a boyfriend, it's always like, oh, you're just temporary.
And changing the lyrics of songs, a song, The Fighter, that he wrote for Nicole Kidman, changing the lyrics, that were about her to something that was about Maggie. So I think there's some smoke here at the very least.
Those words have taken on new meaning in light of recent events. When a married man changes lyrics about his wife to reference a 25-year-old employee, the message seems clear to many observers. The timeline of when any relationship might have actually started remains unclear, but the comfort level between them on stage suggested this wasn't a brand new dynamic. Maggie has been sharing a stage with Keith for at least 18 months, according to sources. She joined his tour as a utility player, filling in on multiple instruments and providing vocals when needed. She's not a permanent touring member, but rather rotates with other musicians like Natalie Stovall, depending on scheduling and availability. Some argue that the lyric change was harmless, just Keith having fun with his band members like he's done for years. Others point out that context matters. Changing a love song about your wife to reference another woman just days before filing for divorce suggests something more significant was happening.
I don't like it.
Why?
That was a song you wrote for me, and how I stood by you while you had all of your, problems.
That's not fair. No, she's right. So what? Does he owe her for the rest of his life?
Yes!
No!
Oh my God!
Maggie's father, Chuck Baugh, spoke to the Daily Mail trying to defend his daughter. I don't know anything about it other than she's a guitar player for him, he said. It's more of a musician thing than a dating thing. But when pressed, he admitted he hadn't heard one way or the other whether their relationship had become romantic. That non-denial only fueled more speculation. Nicole didn't rush into giving up on the marriage the way she had rushed into starting it. Multiple sources confirmed that Nicole tried desperately to save the marriage, even after Keith had emotionally checked out. She was the one who initially resisted the separation when Keith first broached the topic in early summer 2025.
Sort of stumbled into Keith. Literally stumbled into him. and in my spontaneous way, got married very quickly. And we got to know each other when we were married.
Nicole had admitted years ago that she and Keith got married very quickly and didn't know each other well when they tied the knot. They got to know each other when they were already married. That unconventional approach worked during the honeymoon phase when everything felt exciting. But rushing into marriage without really knowing someone set them up for challenges once real life created friction they weren't equipped to handle.
But you can't save somebody. They've got to save themselves, which is a very big thing for people like me who go, I can take care of you, I can do it. It's a massive lesson.
Nicole had learned years ago during Keith's rehab stint that she couldn't save someone who didn't want to save themselves. She described it as a massive lesson when Keith went to Betty Ford Center just 4 months into their marriage in 2006. Nicole thought she could do all the work for him, make him better, but she had to accept that Keith needed to do the work himself. That was about his sobriety then. In 2025, the same principle applied to their marriage. Sources told E! News that Nicole did not want to part ways with Keith and has been trying to save the marriage since they opted to live apart in the beginning of the summer. Keith had already made his decision. He moved into a separate home in Nashville while Nicole stayed in their family residence with their daughters, Sunday 17 and Faith 14.
I wanted that, and I wanted a partner.
I wanted somebody to share my life with. I wanted to have more children, and I knew I wanted that. And that's happened for me, but it's not through kind of just luck. I mean,
Nicole had wanted a partner to share her life with. She had been willing to compromise and change to make the marriage work. She had been focused on what she wanted from the relationship and remained open to working through problems. But Keith's needs had changed. He no longer wanted the same things Nicole wanted. Keith had publicly thanked Nicole at the AFI Life Achievement Award ceremony in April 2024 for standing by him when he went to rehab 4 months into their marriage. He described how Nicole pushed through every negative voice and chose love when she could have easily walked away. Keith praised Nicole's unwavering support and credited her with helping save his life. Just months after that tribute, Keith was changing song lyrics for Maggie Baugh and preparing to leave Nicole. Anyway, that's it for the Foul video, folks. Bye.